Have you ever found yourself in a repeated cycle where you started a weight loss journey, you make some progress, then somewhere along the line you encounter some setbacks, only to find yourself going back to square one all over again? If so, you are not alone. I have been there so many times. Why in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down 10 effective habits that helped me to lose over 43 pounds and kept me disciplined during my weight loss journey, and how you guys are able to do the same too. This video is going to be broken down into sections, and I'm gonna leave you guys the timestamps right here in case you guys want to skip through. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. The very first and most important tip of this entire video is that you must develop a mindset change and discipline yourself through self-pep talk. You guys might be asking, okay, well, how is this effective and why is this the most important? So think of it this way. If you are someone who you have lived your entire life addicted to fast food, maybe you have been the type to never really got yourself to work out, and all of a sudden you're introducing yourself to new habits like getting yourself to eat healthier, getting yourself to work out consistently. The problem is that our brain is so used to familiarity. If your brain's not familiar with something, it's gonna do whatever it can to keep you comfortable and to revert back to your old pattern. That's what we don't want to do. We want to trick our brain and overcome that barrier, try to rewire our brain and consistently form new habits over and over until our new habits become automatic. And that's where self-pep talk comes in with discipline. For example, I had this huge issue when it came to me, constantly snacking throughout the day. And at night, especially late at night, I would always go in the fridge, and that's what was like my weakest point. I would have to literally give myself pep talks like 10 times out of the day. And I would have to tell myself in the most logical way. I would say things like, if I give up right now, I'm gonna go back to where I started. I'm literally gonna go back right where I started. Or another thing I would tell myself, if you just push through one more day, you are one step closer to your goal. Being one step closer to your goal is way better than you screwing up right now and taking 2 steps back. Do not trade instant gratification for delayed gratification. Instant gratification, for instance, you're having a bad day. Maybe you see that you've been on your journey for quite a little time now, and you're noticing that maybe the scale's not moving as fast as you would like. The instant gratification would be like, you know what? Why don't I make myself feel better and just have all this comfort food and just watch TV, because now I feel like a failure, but at least this is gonna make me feel good. And then you start binging, and then you notice a lot of times you're faced with guilt and you just start feeling bad about yourself. When in reality, if you're just like, even if you saw the scale not moving, do not take that as a sign to quit. It's a process. And even though I may not see my exact progress that I see right now, they will come. The more and more you're practicing to get better every single day and to make progress every single day, it's a matter of time where you are going to be able to see the result. And it's about being patient. It's about disciplining yourself. Even if it feels extremely difficult, no matter how hard it gets, you have to always use that inner dialogue. If you don't want to talk to yourself out loud, that's totally fine. I get that. I would do that when I'm like by myself and nobody's around me and stuff. You can say it in your head. Number 2 is that you need to get yourself into a calorie deficit. For anyone that's new to weight loss, the whole point of losing weight is to eat below your calorie maintenance. Really, calories in, calories out. That is how your body works scientifically. Also, if you want to know how many calories you should be eating when you're eating in a calorie deficit, I will leave you guys a screen of a website. I'm also going to put it in my description box. You just need to type in like your height and your current weight and your desired weight, and it's gonna pull up what you should be eating for being in a calorie deficit, maintenance, and all of that. I got myself into a 1,500 calorie deficit when I lost weight and when I was on my 40-pound weight loss journey. I'm 5'6", by the way. Eat fruits as your backup plan when you feel like crashing. This might sound counterproductive. I know that you guys probably were like, well, didn't you just say don't you need to use discipline? Don't you need to use self-talk? Are you overeating your calorie limit? And I'm saying this as a backup plan. Even though, yes, you are technically breaking your diet, that's a lot better than you grabbing a whole bag of chips and like, you know, a whole pint of ice cream and just like binging out. I did this more as a way to kind of ease through my journey. When you eat an apple, that is actually a high volume food, which I'm also gonna get into later. Not that many calories. Fruits have such little calories. There's a lot of water content when you're eating fruit, for instance, and that's really good to keep your stomach full and leave you more satiated. That really helped me to fill me up like right before bed. If I had like that urge of wanting to go in the kitchen, start like snacking in the middle of the night, it's to schedule your eating time. Now, this is totally optional. It's not gonna make or break your fitness or your weight loss journey. Technically, your body does not know the time of the day. This was more, again, like a personal thing. When I was younger, I used to work at like retail jobs, restaurant jobs, where I would close at night, or I would leave work like late at night. And then I would come home and I just wanted to kind of like unwind, and part of that I would always just, you know, eat late at night and start like snacking and start making all types of stuff in the kitchen and like watch TV. So that's why ever since I started my weight loss journey, I just really wanted to let go of the habit of me just constantly snacking and always having those like midnight cravings. So I scheduled a time for myself that I was gonna stop eating after 8 p.m. because I also wanted to get myself into the habit of not going to bed too late. So maybe let's say you're watching this and maybe you like to eat a lot in the morning. Again, something that you can do to kind of regulate better of like your eating patterns and like your eating windows. Sometimes intermediate fasting can be helpful. I don't strongly recommend it because I know every person's different. Also, it's always best to get a doctor's opinion about intermediate fasting. Walk 8K to 10K steps a day, 10,000 steps a day. When it comes to losing weight, you do not need to be going to the gym and doing all this crazy stuff. I'm saying this for anyone who's not a big fan of the gym, but you want to utilize some exercise. It would be so beneficial. You can lose weight so much just from walking. This is stuff that I do to spice my walks up. I would always go to like a nice and safe neighborhood, have like my energy drink ready. By the way, don't overconsume energy drink. I would also throw on like some cute workout outfits. I would get myself just to look cute on my walks. And then not only that, I will put on like a podcast. I will do whatever I can to keep myself entertained. You can listen to audiobooks. You can literally go on your phone, keep yourself entertained on your phone. You can go on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything and anything to keep you inspired and entertained and motivated during your walk. Not only is it good for weight loss, but it's so good to help you with your mental health. There's so many ways you can get your steps in. You can get your steps in throughout the day with like, you have like local coffee shops, food shops by you. You can use those steps instead of driving or taking an Uber there. You can literally walk to like a local coffee shop. Finding a way to make it fun. Don't make it boring. It's such a good way to motivate yourself to do those walks again, because now it's like you're not dragging yourself to work out. Now it's something that you look forward to eat what you want in moderation. I made it a goal that I did not want to have a negative relationship with food. I would still eat out and still eat certain foods that aren't necessarily healthy, but I would make sure that I would eat it in moderation. And what that looks like is, for example, the beginning of my weight loss journey, I was actually traveling and I was on vacation. When I was on vacation, it wasn't necessarily all the most healthiest food. There was stuff on my vacation where I had like the shaved ice, I had like donuts, I had, there was like fried shrimp and like all this type of food that isn't exactly weight loss friendly. Instead of completely missing out and like restricting myself, a lot of times what I would do is I would just cut down to half to whatever I was eating, or I would just eat in a smaller portion, still be able to eat certain foods, but just not overdo it. Times high volume foods over low density foods. So for anyone who doesn't know what is high volume food and what are low volume foods. High volume foods refer to those that have a low caloric density, but occupy a lot of space in your stomach, helping you feel full and satisfied with fewer calories. Higher volume foods are like foods such as leafy greens, spinach, kale, eggplant, a lot of water density in those foods. And if you notice, when you're drinking like a large bottle of water, you start to feel really like full afterwards. You're getting a lot out of your portion, but it's lower in calories, which is great because that's what you want to do when you're losing weight. Volume foods would be considered high in calorie but low in volume, meaning they don't make you full as much as the high volume foods. Like when you get those donuts, a single donut could be like 300 to 400 calories. And the problem with that, even though it's delicious and it tastes good, and not to say that you can't ever eat donuts and you have to stay away from them, when you are on your weight loss journey and you're trying to go into calorie deficit, you want to maximize your food and your calories as much as you can, in terms of like, you want to be able to feel as full as you can but with the least amount of calories. Prioritize eating more wholesome food. This kind of goes hand to hand with what I was just talking about earlier with eating higher volume foods. Show you guys a image of like what are considered to be wholesome foods so that you guys can take in account of what to eat, or like get some meal ideas or food ideas to use during your weight loss. Fast food alternative swaps. So you guys see me now going back and forth with like healthy food but also eating in moderation. I'm just giving you guys all these tips so that it's more about balance. It's not just always strictly eating healthier food. You could be watching it and maybe you're somebody who doesn't have the time to cook for yourself all the time. Maybe you just really want something like Chick-fil-A or one of your favorite fast food places, maybe Chipotle, whatever it is. Again, when you are going on your weight loss journey, you do not have to completely restrict yourself off of fast food. You can still lose weight and go to still your favorite fast food places. There's so many ways where you can utilize your calories better when you are going to those fast food places. You can order stuff off the menu that are much lower in calories. I know for a fact on Chick-fil-A, there's actually a lot of food items. I actually went to Chick-fil-A before and I've gotten myself some certain things where it was low calorie. There's so many ways where you can go to fast food places and you can kind of swap out certain things. Maybe skip the bun and go for more like a lettuce protein type of style from like In-N-Out. And I'm not saying that to skip the bun because it's unhealthy. I'm just saying that if you want to still be able to eat your other meals throughout the day, you still want to put yourself in a calorie deficit, it's definitely a good way for you to be able to eat the foods that you still want, but try to find different alternatives so that you can use your calories much more efficiently. Do not rely heavily on those walking apps on like your fitness tracker, on like your Apple Watch, where it tells you how many calories you burn. Sometimes aren't accurate all the time. It's never 100% accurate. And something that I've learned much later on when it came to my whole fitness journey was that those fitness tracker apps, so like let's say you download one of those walking apps and it'll tell you like, oh, you burn 300 calories on your walk or something. Usually a lot of times they can overestimate your calories, and I've heard people say that they would try to like eat all their calories back because they think like, well, this app told me that I burned 500, so I'm gonna eat 500 more. And people who are trying to like go into a calorie deficit and lose weight, you tend to do that often. You might find yourself looking at the fact that like maybe your progress is slowing down for that reason. One of those apps can tell you like, oh, you burned 300 calories, and maybe in reality you only burn like 100 calories from your walk, and then you end up eating those 300 calories. And if that's something that you do on a daily basis, that could be a possible reason why you may find yourself not losing weight as fast as you would like, or maybe your progress, maybe you find yourself in a weight plateau. And basically those are all of my 10 habits that really helped me during my fitness journey. My very last thing that I wanted to conclude with this, most of all, is to be patient when it comes to your weight loss journey. A huge thing that I had to do for myself was to really be patient and realize it is a process. It's not something that's just gonna happen overnight. The scale's not gonna instantly drop overnight. It's about literally you getting 1% better every single day. Especially if you're a woman watching it, you have to remember, if the scale is not constantly moving and going down all the time, you have to remember a lot of times, a lot of factors can come in. If you're drinking a lot of fluid throughout the day, if you're drinking a lot of water, that's gonna obviously put on weight on the scale, because you are having all that water inside of you and you haven't flushed it all out yet. Or also, when you're getting your period, you tend to retain more water weight during your period. For most women, we retain a lot of water weight, which again makes it seem like we're not, losing weight on the scale because the scale and the number isn't changing. Also, you can be constipated. If you're eating certain foods, maybe you're not getting enough fiber in your diet. Again, the scale is gonna make it seem like you're not making any progress. And I think a lot of the times what happens is when we're not seeing the number change as fast as we would like, a lot of times we take it as like we now feel discouraged, and then that causes us to basically be like, screw this, and go back to our old eating habits and start binging and start snacking, and then it just becomes the whole cycle. I did not pinpoint and say, oh, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds in 1 month and I'm gonna see my exact goal and I'm gonna be in my bikini body and blah blah blah. No. When you think in terms of, it's more than just about you losing weight, it's more than just about the number being changed on the scale. When you look at it that way, then it really does make your whole weight loss journey a lot more doable, and it really helps you to not stress so much about when exactly you're gonna lose weight. If you just shift your mentality and shift your mindset about how you're planning to go on to this journey, then I really do think this is what's gonna make you to stick to your weight loss a lot more effectively, rather than you constantly stressing about whether the scale's going down or not, and instead let it be a process. I always think that me making progress today, and even though I'm making all this great progress, even if you're making all this great progress and you're not seeing the scale go down as quick, I always think I'd rather stick it out, because that, again, like I said from the beginning, that's what's bringing you closer. When you tell yourself and have that mentality, if I just stick it out one more day longer, that's what's bringing you closer and closer, and eventually your habits start to compound, and that eventually leads you to losing the weight that you want, versus then being too impatient, too impulsive, and screwing up the second you feel discouraged. I just want you guys to know it does not take a special person to achieve their goals. It really doesn't. If I can go from 175, if I can go from the girl that hated, despised working out, if I can go from the girl that would eat multiple times a week, fast food places, constantly eating junky, constantly someone that hated cooking for themselves, hated to eat healthy foods, and I have transformed myself completely into somebody who literally working out has become such a big part of my life. I love eating healthy. I love cooking for myself. I love making my body feel nourished and good inside. Then that means you are able to do the same when it comes to your own goals. Don't ever think that you are not capable, because every single person that's watching this video is so capable. It takes that internal change. All it takes is that internal change in yourself. Those first 2 weeks, I'm telling you, those first 2 weeks are probably going to be the most hardest. It gets significantly better over time, and the cravings that you used to have are not even going to be the same. Those urges, those impulses that you used to have are not even going to be the same, because like I said from the beginning, when you're constantly introducing your brain, your old version of yourself, these new habits, and over to the point where it becomes automatic, that becomes your whole new normal. I am just wishing you guys all the best luck. I know you guys can do it. You guys are more than capable of reaching your goals. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you found some of the tips useful in today's video. By the way, I do have a digital weight loss planner, so if you guys want to check that out, it is a weight loss and fitness digital planner, basically where you guys can enter your food logs and your calorie logs, and also enter in safe workouts and have daily logs to keep you accountable during your weight loss journey. So if you guys want to check that out, it is now available, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!